most of us, our knowledge of germs begins in childhood.
They're dirty and they're not good for you. Little small things that can make you sick.
Really, like creepy beasts.
Medically speaking,
well, germs are probably defined as any microbe, anything that can cause an illness.
And most of us try our best to avoid them. This mom admits she's frequently on germ patrol.
A little bit of a germaphobe. I try to wipe her hands off, and that's about the best I can do, because she gets into everything. She touches everything.
Germs are everywhere. There's no way you can avoid them. But how do you know what you're coming in contact with? Say when you touch a playground slide. We wanted to know too. So with the help of the UK Clinical Lab, we tested dozens of everyday surfaces to find out where germs live and how they could affect your family.
Bacteria are just everywhere. You know, we carry them on our skin. We carry them throughout our digestive tract.
As an infectious disease specialist and hospitalist at the Kentucky Children's Hospital, germs are part of Dr. Jeffrey Bennett's job, and he's helping us test your Germ IQ.
Would you be more worried about germs on a slide at the playground or the picnic tables?
I would have to guess the picnic table.
In our test, the picnic table, even though visibly dirtier, actually had less bacterial growth than the slide. Not a surprise to this mom of four.
Hands and dirty pants, and they sit in things, in their shoes and all that kind of stuff. My guess would be the slide.
But would you venture a guess if more germs live on an office keyboard or a grocery cart?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know that one. They're probably both pretty nasty.
Because the keyboard would most likely be just you.
After our swabs, the keyboard had more bacteria, but paled in comparison to an office phone, one of the worst sites for germs in our testing, likely due to use by many different hands.
Have you seen how many people don't wash their hands? You go to the bathroom at public places and you find out how many people don't wash their hands as they leave.
And as far as all those hands on a grocery cart, the lab culture on the left is about a dozen bacterial colonies from the cart handle. And on the right, the results of a cart swabbed after using one of those antibacterial wipes many stores now provide. After a few swipes, no bacteria was present. And now to the worst of the worst.
Do you think there are more germs on the toilet or in your kitchen on the sink?
I've heard the kitchen sink.
That's just what we discovered. A kitchen sink and sponge had the most bacteria of any items we tested, even more than a public toilet.
Kitchens are particularly vulnerable because there's a lot of food sitting around. There's a lot of washings of food that lies on surfaces for long periods of time.
And what about that 5-second rule when food drops on the kitchen floor?
If it hits the floor, if it hits the surface, it's going to be contaminated with bacteria. It's instantaneous. So the 5-second rule is absolutely bogus. Now, the truth is that as a parent, I've applied the 5-second rule probably 1,000 times.
The bottom line on keeping germs at bay, do routine cleaning, especially on areas with frequent hand and food contact, and you can prevent illness by following simple advice from moms everywhere.
How do you get rid of germs?
By washing your hands.
Do you always wash your hands?
Not always.
And even when the inevitable germs come your way, take heart in knowing bacteria isn't always a bad thing.
Bacteria are pretty important to us. I mean, they play important roles in our bodies. We've got a lot of bacteria that we have to have in our bodies in order to digest certain nutrients well. And without them, frankly, we couldn't survive.
Hold on, baby doll.
Proof we can live happy, healthy lives, even in a germ-filled world. Kristi, Runyon, ABC 36 News.